Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. Listen, I hope y'all had the best Easter ever. I had such a great Easter, and I just had to pop in for a minute and see what y'all was up to. I jumped on these internet streets to see what has gone on, and we have a little bit to talk about. Now, I'm not going to keep you long. I promise you that. But I had to pop in and have a little chit chat with you. But before we get started, let's do our shout outs and then we'll talk about all the stuff that I have dug up because y'all know I be digging. But let's get the shout outs out the way, like I said. And first up is my girl, Jane Press. Jane goes all the way back with me. She does. She was one of my first subscribers. She has been with me since the beginning and she has rocked with me ever since. She is always supporting. She is always in the comments, sending me love, sending me support, and I appreciate her so very much. Like I said, she is one of the founding members of the tribe. She is. So thank you, Jane. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Gwen Stevenson came through. Yes, Gwen. Gwen is so kind. She is so sweet. And she is always coming through. She is. She is such a huge support. She is always in the comments. She's always saying good morning. Gwen is just the best. And let me tell you, she is so insightful. If you see one of her posts, please read it. I promise you, you will learn something. So thank you, Gwen. Thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for being here. And my girl, Yulette came through. Yes, she did. Yulette is just the best. She is. She has just become such a big part of this community. I don't know. What did we do before Yulette got here? I don't even know. She is just that big a part of this community. You just don't even know what you did before she got here. But I know one thing, I am glad she is here. So thank you, Let. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And 08065 came through. Yes, she did. Another stalwart of this community. She is. She is always coming through. She's always supporting. She is always in the comments. She is everything. She really, really is. And I appreciate her so very much. What did we do before 08065? I don't even know. Y'all are just the best. Y'all are. But thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all, we're going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. All right, y'all. I want to give another quick shout out to my girl Jane Press. Yes, coming on through, and Gwen Stevenson. She is the best. And Yulette is so kind and so sweet. And 08065. Yes, that's my girl too. Thank y'all so very much. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for always supporting. It means so much. And I know you don't have to, but you do, and that just is everything. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and listen, I have been on these streets even though it's Easter. Now, I had a great Easter. I did, but I said I got to peek in here and just touch base with my people. Yes, touch base with my tribe and just see exactly what's been going on. Well, we got a few things to talk about. Yes, you know, the left behinds, they all went to church. And it looks like they booed him on the way to church. Yeah. Now, was it a lot of boos? No, but it was some boos involved. And I just love it for them. Now, I do hate the fact that the kids was there. But other than that, I love it. I loved it because they wanted this for Harry and Meghan. They primed the pump. Y'all know the Flying Monkeys just wrote article after article after article. What if Harry and Meghan is booed? Harry and Meghan's going to be booed. If they show their face, they're going to be booed. I mean, that's all those flying monkeys used to talk about in every article, on every panel, in every report that they used to do on television. They were priming the public to boo Harry and Meghan, coaching them into booing Harry and Meghan. And looky now. They get booed every time they show their face. They get booed, even on the way to church. I'm not saying anything, but boy, that's pretty brutal. And we're going to talk about the queen. Y'all know what I talked about the word on the curb in my last podcast. Well, it has just exploded on the front pages of all the rags talking about the queen. They up there dragging the queen. They are dug her up and they are dragging her. And the squatties are in the drag. They are. The squatties are participating in the drag. Yes, they are. And we're going to talk about that as well. And we got some more little stuff, but I promise you, I'm not going to keep you long. It's Easter evening. I know y'all probably got something to do, got to clean up, everybody's doing stuff. But I just wanted to check in just for a minute and talk about just a few things. So let's get started so we can get back to the festivities. I'm going to go to sleep. I think I'm going to go to bed. I'm tired. I cooked a lot. Did y'all cook a lot? Put in the comments. Put in the comments if you cooked anything for Easter. I did. And it was delicious. All right, y'all. Y'all lock in with me for a few minutes. I will not keep you long, but I promise you, I'm going to keep you entertained. Let's start with this right here. Let's get started. Y'all remember when Harry said in Spare that when the royal family gets up in the morning and come to breakfast, they have all of the rags laid out, all of the morning rags, the Daily Fail, the Daily Telegraph, all of them. I am sure that happened this morning on this Easter morning. And look at the front page of the Mirror. They had to wake up to this. As you can see, it says slash our spending on royals. Yes, they have started the drumbeat. These people, they don't understand what's going on here. People in the UK are sick of them. They are. They are tired of watching them fly over their heads in these helicopters and ride around in these Bentleys, not because they have earned it, not because of merit, not because of their intellect, but only because they slipped out of a certain birth canal. And people are sick of that. People are suffering. They're suffering emotionally, they're suffering physically, financially. And these people, like Kitty and Willie, are on their fourth vacation. And we are just in April. So, of course, they are getting booed at every event, and their approval rating is sinking like a rock, but they still don't get it. This squatty says, "Good morning and happy Easter." Andrew Mountbatten Windsor stays home, still costing the UK taxpayer £3 million plus a year in security, while the monarchy's approval sinks to 45%. No wonder he's hiding. Now that 45% that they say that approve of the monarchy, this is from that YouGov poll. And we all know that that poll is nothing but rigged. So 45% on a YouGov poll is probably about 35%. Because we know that YouGov puts a thumb on the scale when it comes to that family. They do nothing but prop them up. So when you get a YouGov poll and you look at the approval, always know that you need to take away at least 10% to get an accurate reading of what that family's approval is. That's just my opinion. But like I said, we know how YouGov is. And if I'm not mistaken, the person who runs the YouGov poll is related to the horse. So this is my reasoning behind my theory that the YouGov poll is never accurate. You have to do some subtraction to get a real read on what's going on with the approval of that family. My opinion, just what I believe. I'm just saying. And this squatty posted the same front page from the Mirror and said, are things finally coming to a head? I hope so. This could be big, guys, because if their funding is reduced, it will be the beginning of the end of the monarchy. Let's hope that the council acquiesces to this and we can finally watch them squirm as it all collapses. Y'all, I don't know. I think it's going to take more than a few front pages calling for them to reduce the money that's given to them. Because, this year is the first year that they got a 50% raise. That is criminal. I mean, that is a grift, isn't it? But like I said, it's going to take more than this, in my belief. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But yeah, they are not going to go out easy. It's going to be a real tough slog getting them out of there. And so, like I said, I don't think that this is the beginning of the end. I would say this is the beginning of the beginning. It's a lot more has to transpire for that whole monarchy to come tumbling down. But I do believe that it's really, really starting because the collapse of their popularity, even to the point where YouGov can't cover it up anymore, yeah, that's the beginning of the beginning. And this squatty said, Easter morning front page of the Mirror. These kind of headlines should worry the monarchy. The Andrew problem will forever haunt them. Where's the lie? Because they did not choose to do the right thing. I talked about this in my last podcast. The Queen and the rest of that family chose to cover up for Andrew, chose to cloak for him, chose to protect him and not the victims. They allowed him to continue his behavior, to continue to hurt these little girls. I mean, how can you have any kind of moral standing if you allow the behavior to go on? They found out about it and allowed the behavior to continue and brought the pedos in the house. How can they ever live that down? It is something about that family. Every time presented with a choice, every time they're at a crossroads, they choose the wrong choice. They do. They take the wrong turn. And so, yeah, this will forever stain that monarchy. And they're not the only one. Look at Norway's. Yes, very stained. I don't know what they're going to do with that crown princess because she is absolutely being drugged up and down these internet streets over there in Norway. They don't even want to have anything to do with her. How is she going to be queen? But I digress on that. But no, they will never live it down because they didn't choose to do the right thing. They did. And they made mistake after mistake after mistake. And they still constantly making mistakes because the victims of JE wanted to meet with Charles when he comes to the United States and he refuses to meet with them. Another mistake. Whenever at a crossroad, Charles and the rest of those left behinds, they always choose the wrong road. They do. They always take a left when they should go right. If he would meet with these victims and show some empathy, some true compassion, it would go a long way. But I know he is being advised by all of these courtiers. Charles, if he had one or two brain cells, he would know that he needs to clean house. All of them folks who are advising him need to go because they're going to be the downfall of the monarchy because they keep telling him all these stupid things to do. And let's not forget Kensington Palace. I mean, just a whole palace of idiots. All of those courtiers, all of those advisors, they are just as crazy as a run over dog. They are. So all I can say is I agree with this squatty. They should be worried. They should take this as a sign for them to make changes. But we all know change is not something that these people know how to do or ever want to do. So, yeah, the left behinds are in for a bumpy ride. And all I can say is I got plenty of popcorn and wine, and I am sitting back and I am going to enjoy the show. And this squatty posted the video of the left behinds doing their Easter walk. And this is what he said. The British royal family making Easter Sunday all about being seen as usual. How is this normal? On all days to be humble, the parasites are parading themselves so unnecessary. How did this become a thing? Yes, how did this become a thing? I mean, what they do and what they get paid, it is just not, the math is not mathing. They walk the church on Easter. They walk the church on Christmas. They go and just perform in front of charities, never doing anything to improve the charities. They cut ribbons. They unveil plaques. I mean, you get millions and millions and millions of dollars each year just to do this. I mean, it's as if they get money for being zoo animals because zoo animals do exactly what they're doing and they don't even get paid for it. But the royal family gets all of this money. It makes no sense. So I agree with this squatty. How did this become a thing? It says William and Kate leading the pack of frumpies amidst some booze. Yes, it was some booze. And like I said, the only thing I felt bad about was the children were there. I wouldn't have felt anything if it was just the grown-ups there. But I hope Willie and Kitty would explain to them why these people are booing because they are tired of having to support a family that does nothing and has done nothing to receive all of the wealth that they have. So people are getting tired of that. They are getting tired of the scam, of the grift. I know they want to explain to them just like that, but basically, that's what's going on. And I'm going to put this up. This is a little side note, and it's about Princess Charlotte. And this squatty posted this, and I was like, you know what? You are on to something. Look at this. It says the resemblance of Princess Charlotte with Lady Sarah Chetto is unbelievable. Windsor genes are so strong in Charlotte, she's definitely inherited them. They practically look the same. I have to agree because Charlotte looks just like Princess Anne's daughter. She is a dead ringer for Lady Sarah Chetto. She is. Charlotte looks like Princess Anne. She does. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but she looks like a dead ringer for Lady Sarah Chetto. She does. She looks just like The Windsors, she does. And y'all know that Princess Anne in her day was considered a very, very beautiful woman, a classic beauty. So I really believe Charlotte is going to be a very beautiful young lady. Now that attitude and what that institution is instilling in her, what kind of person she might be on the inside, I don't know. But on the outside, I really think she's going to be really, really beautiful. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I just find genetics very, very interesting. And I'll tell you something else was very, very interesting. My timeline, squatties were reaching back to spare, talking about what happened between Willie and Kitty and Harry and Meghan about Easter. Y'all remember? This squatty said, "Squatties, I hope you all remember to buy your brothers and sister-in-laws their Easter presents this year. We wouldn't want to upset them to the point where they would exact their vengeance by setting off an entire smear campaign against you using the British press." Y'all remember that in Spare? Yes, that old lame excuse that Willie and Kitty was upset with Harry and Meghan because they did not buy them an Easter present. Now, Willie and Kitty did not buy Harry and Meghan an Easter present, but they were upset because Harry and Meghan did not buy them an Easter present. We all know that this was nothing but a lame excuse. I mean, you could read the rags through this. It was absolutely bogus. But yes, squatties are bringing that up, and I love it. It's giving me life. It really is. And look at this. This squatty posted a picture of the page in Spare that Harry is talking about this Easter present that they were supposed to buy Willie and Kitty and did not know anything about it. This squatty posted that and said, "It's been 8 Easters since Prince William and Kate Middleton threw a tantrum because Harry and Meghan hadn't got them an Easter present." Yes, 8 Easters, 8 Easters, and they still are pissed about it. At least they pretend like they are. We all know really why they're pissed. And this squatty posted that same passage from Spare. I'm going to read it. It says, "And then Meg added, everything got magnified by the wedding and those infernal bridesmaids' dresses. But it turned out there were other things about which we'd been unaware. Willie and Kate was apparently upset that we hadn't given them Easter presents." Easter presents? Was that a thing? Willie and I had never exchanged Easter presents. Pa always made a big deal about Easter, sure, but that was Pa. But still, if Willie and Kate were upset, we apologized. For our part, we chipped in that we wasn't too pleased when Willie and Kate switched place cards and changed seats at our wedding. We followed the American tradition, placing couples next to each other. But Willie and Kate didn't like the tradition, so their table was the only one where spouses were apart. Y'all hear that? I had forgot about that. Yes, Willie and Kitty, they don't like to sit next to each other. And they changed the place cards at Harry and Meghan's wedding. They were just bridezillas at someone else's wedding. It says they insisted it wasn't them. They lied about it. You know that that was them. Who else would be motivated to do something like that? But it says they insisted it wasn't them, it was someone else. And they said we'd done the same thing at Pippa's wedding. We hadn't. Much as we wanted to, we'd been separated by a huge flower arrangement. Yes, they didn't even want to sit by each other. You cannot tell me that Willie and Kitty, they are a loving couple. Because who does that? Most spouses want to sit together. It is so weird, but yeah, they're talking about they're mad because of an Easter present. Harry said they never exchanged Easter presents, but here they are making up this bogus excuse, and we know why. Because it wasn't about the Easter present. It was about how Harry and Meghan was this dynamic couple that was absolutely overshadowing everything that they did. They were so jealous. They were so envious of Harry and Meghan as a couple. They could not stand it. And they couldn't just not have an excuse. They had to make up a bogus excuse why they were feeling the way they were feeling. They couldn't own it. They just could not own it. And you can see that they're not people who own things because they didn't even want to own the fact that they had changed the place cards. So, yeah, this is who these people are. They never take ownership of their SHIT. But yes, every year we got to go over this. We need to make this a tradition. We need to talk about this every year. And just remember how lame Willie and Kitty are. The squatty that posted this said the level of gaslighting William and Kate tried with Harry and Meghan is insane. Why did they put so much energy in harassing this little family instead of just letting go of things they didn't like? They wanted Easter presents. Really? No, they didn't. They wanted Harry and Meghan to go away. They did not want to compete with Harry and Meghan's shine. That's what was going on there. They knew that the real it couple had arrived and they could not handle it. I'll tell me what y'all think about this, but that is so funny to me to make up something bogus like that, to gaslight and try to justify what can't be justified. And that is envy and jealousy. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, we're going to change gears because they are dragging the queen. Yes, they are. Y'all remember my last podcast, I talked about the word on the curb was that Prince Andrew was not Prince Philip's son. And let me tell you, it has exploded over the pages of those rags. They are dragging the queen. Yes, the proper queen. All I can say is they unleashed this genie out of the bottle when they gave those flying monkeys permission to absolutely smear and disrespect Meghan and Harry. They didn't know that they were opening a Pandora's box, and out flew smoke for any and everybody, meaning that any and everybody can catch the smoke, and that includes the proper queen. Her Royal Highness the late Queen Elizabeth II. Her reputation. They are dragging it through the mud. After 70 years on the throne, these people are doing this. And all I can say is if they had started none, it would have been none. Meaning that if they had left Harry and Meghan alone and not give the flying monkeys permission to smear them, to lie on them, to try and to destroy them. And because of that, it just ripped away the mystique of that family. It just ripped away the deference for that family. And they just thought it was going to be for Harry and Meghan. But it turned out that it was for all of them because when you open a Pandora's box, it is no fear or favor of anyone. Everybody, like I was saying, can catch the smoke. And as you can see, it says exclusive. Royal biographer reveals Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's real father, and it isn't Prince Philip. Yes, absolutely. In Woman's Day. Yes, yes. And I think that is an American publication. Y'all tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think it is an American publication. But yes, here it is. There it is. They did this to themselves. And Zanny Sussex, who posted this, said Andrew Lowry, who has been paraded as the oracle of truth, has just dropped a bombshell that Lord Parchester, the Queen's house racing manager, is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's real father. Bring out the popcorn. Bring out the popcorn. Y'all, I cannot. And this squatty reposted Zanny and said, so the love story of the centuries was a total ugly lie. Once again, the cult is exposed. You only had to look at the perverted son to see he looks nothing like old Phil. It's funny, the youngest son of the hairless heir has very much a look of the disgraced vile Uncle Andy. Now, this particular squatty has nothing but smoke, and they don't hold back. What this squatty is saying that Lewis looks like Andrew. Y'all, I'm going to leave that totally and completely alone. I just wanted to explain what this squatter was saying. But yeah, that whole love story of, the Queen seeing Philip and all that, that was nothing but an arranged marriage. That's all it was. Philip needed a place to land after his family was ran out of Greece, I think it was, because he was a prince of Greece. After all of that fell apart, he didn't have any money, anything. He was looking for a soft landing, and he saw it in Elizabeth. And Elizabeth always did what everybody told her to do. The Queen was always very obedient and just followed the rules, but it looked like she also followed the racing manager into the horses' stalls as well. And this squatty posted that same article and said, so let me get this straight. For years, it was daily sermons about morals and standards because of Meghan Markle. Now, suddenly, we're in the era of maybe Queen Elizabeth II had a secret lover. And is Prince Andrew even who we think he is? Oh, wow. Yes, yes, yes. That's exactly what is going on. Isn't that something? Look like the worm has really turned, hasn't it? I'm telling you, that worm is spinning in the ground. And look at this. Here's the happy couple. Yes. And they really look like they're in love, don't they? Look at him, how he's looking at the Queen. I mean, that's a look of love. It says, oh yeah, the Queen did get porched. I'm starting to believe she did. Yeah, look at him. The way he's looking at her with such love in his eyes. I'm just saying. And look at this. It said, wait, so did the Queen get porched or what? Asking for a nation's dignity. Yeah, she maybe got porched because they look a lot alike. They do. But you have to admit, Andrew always looked very different. He looked so different from Charles and Edward. He just did. I mean, the dark hair and everything. Yeah, he looks so different from them. I'm just saying, it could be. It could be, y'all. And they say Porchy was at Prince Andrew's christening, standing right by the Queen. What y'all think about that? He maybe is Prince Andrew's godfather. I don't know. I got to look that up. If you know, put it in the comments. But you have to admit, side by side, they look a lot alike. Now, I saw this squatty who asked a question in a post saying that if Andrew was Porchy's son, Wonder did Prince Philip know? And I thought about that. I don't even think Prince Philip would have cared because at the end of the day, it was about survival for him. And we all know that he was banging Penny Natchbull for 20 years. I mean, living like a married couple. They were. And this particular squatty posted about that and how the queen was not even there when Prince Philip died. It was Penny Natchbull holding his hand. As you can see down here what this squatty posted, this is a repost. And the original post posted this. It said, a new biography reveals that Prince Philip was diagnosed with inoperable cancer in 2013, living with it privately for nearly 8 years. In his final hours, he quietly had a beer in the oak room of Windsor Castle before passing away peacefully the next morning. The Queen was not present and was said to be saddened that they hadn't had a final goodbye after more than 70 years of marriage. Now, y'all remember how the Queen was sitting there during Prince Philip's funeral? I mean, she was stoic, wasn't she? We thought she was just strong. It could be the Queen did not care, y'all, because she absolutely never even shed a tear. And here's a man that she supposedly loved for 70 years. They were business partners, just like Kitty and Willie. They were co-workers, just like Kitty and Willie are co-workers now. It's no love there. And the squatty that posted this said, the Queen wasn't present when Philip breathed his last. So was it Penny who held his hand? These royal marriage arrangements are so weird. Perfect marriage in newspaper headlines only. Different picture behind closed doors. Where is the lie? I really feel that it is a lot to be told when it comes to Kitty and Willie. And the squatty that reposted this said, Harry's not like them. They hate Harry for being a nice guy. Where's the lie? And they also hate Harry for loving his wife, respecting his wife, and most of all, protecting his wife. Y'all remember, Harry said in Spare that Willie and Charles had a problem with him putting out those open letters to the press to leave Meghan alone. And the reason that Willie and Charles had a problem with it is because they didn't do it for Kitty and the horse. They were saying that it was pretty much embarrassing to them that they hadn't protected their wives and girlfriends like Harry had protected Meghan. I remember that. Yes, that was the reason why they had a problem with it, how it made them look. I mean, these people, they're all about how things look, not how they feel. Meghan said that. She did, and she was absolutely right. This squatty is absolutely right. Harry was different, and they hated him for being different. They did. And this squatty speaking on this article about the Queen possibly having an affair with her racing manager and Andrew not being Prince Philip's son said this. From what I'm seeing on my timeline about Nancy Drew's alleged paternity, it seems that 96-year-old wasn't just a passive-aggressive, vindictive, two-faced biatch. She was also a skank. Oh my God, I cannot with squatties. It says they're really out here calling y'all's late queen a hoe. Guess if sources says it must be true. You know they trust the sources when it comes to Harry and Meghan. But I just wonder if they're going to go with the sources on this one. But I'm telling you, I absolutely was out when this squatty said that the queen was a skank. I cannot. And this squatty said, poor Betty, why can't they just leave her to rest in peace? My sentiments exactly. Why won't they just leave the queen alone? They are constantly digging her up and propping her up and putting words in her mouth to try to harm Harry and Meghan. And now look what has happened. People have gotten so comfortable that they can just tell all the secrets. Yes, all of the skeletons are falling out of the closet. If you just had a little decorum when it came to Harry and Meghan, I really do not feel that that family would be in the very delicate situation that it is in today. And look at this. This was in the Telegraph. It's telling a story of Andrew attacking one of the Queen's aides. Yes, I mean, they were hiding everything, and now it's all coming out. It says Andrew accused of physical altercation with Elizabeth II's aide. And they say that this happened, and the only thing that the man who Andrew jumped on, all he got out of it was a letter of apology. This squatty posted it and said, it's taken a literal arrest for the press to finally admit Andrew was an absolute prick behind closed doors. That footman who clocked him deserves a medal. Yet we've been fed a diet of servant bollocks for years while the media covered up for him. The UK press only found its balls once the police are at the door. What else are they hiding to protect the firm? Exactly. And I think what they're hiding is that scar upside Kitty's head and how it got there. Yes, it is a story behind that scar. And also, look at the behavior that was going on behind the scene, but yet and still, they never ever did an investigation for bullying when it came to Andrew and nobody else. We all know that Charles bullies his staff. We also know that Willie bullies his staff. But they only wanted to investigate Meghan, and the only thing that they could come up with some 5 a.m. emails that was so polite that she wrote to Jason Knopf. I would have been embarrassed to bring that to court because it makes no sense to consider that as bullying when we have people choking out butlers. I'm just saying. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. But to me, it is more and more going to come out. Those people, I'm telling you, their closet is full of skeletons. I'm telling you, it is more bones buried over there at Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace. It is a boneyard over there. I'm just saying. And I can't wait. Like I said, keep your popcorn handy. It is getting interesting. And I want to put this up. This was in the Daily Fail. And they actually paid someone to do this nonsense. To me, this just shows the level of obsession that they have with Meghan. Look what it says. It says, I ate Meghan Markle's favorite foods and was shocked by how I felt. What happened to my body every day after eating her meals. Can you believe that? A grown man. A grown man is eating like 100. Well, I guess Meghan maybe weighs 110 pounds. Yes, and this grown man is saying he's eating like Meghan. I cannot with these people. Tell me the obsession is not real. What did these people do before Meghan came to the shores of that small island nation? Because they act as if time never even existed before Meghan came. It's crazy to me. And the squatty that posted this says, imagine being such a talentless hack that you have to broadcast your own pathetic inability to follow a basic recipe just for a few Meghan fuel clicks. It takes a special kind of thick to blame the Duchess for the fact that you're a total bloody disaster in the kitchen. I mean, can you believe this man cooked the meals and then ate the meals and then blamed Meghan because he was hungry? I cannot. I just find this just so stalkerish. It is like a stalker. The Daily Fail is a stalker. That's all it is. It's an obsession that I have never seen before in my life. How does these people get away with constantly talking about Meghan all the time? I mean, no journalistic integrity at all. You actually pay a grown man to eat food from recipes from Meghan and then write an article about it. I mean, it makes no sense to me. This squatty posted that same article and said, it's an absolute mental sickness those people over there have. Where is the lie? I mean, medication, please. Get some medication. Get some therapy. I mean, try to get off of Meghan. It is like a drug to them. It has to be. I have never saw anything like it before in my life. It's as if nobody else exists. And you got a whole royal family right there in country, and you can't keep Meghan's name out of your mouth. And you come up with stupid, stupid things like this. It is so annoying. And this squatty said, to be clear, the person isn't trashing Meghan. He's just whining that he was always left hungry. But then at the very end claimed that he weight lifts 4 times a week and cycles daily. So his complaint that he was always hungry, meanwhile he was eating food that a petite 100-pound woman eats who does Pilates and yoga and overall needs less calories to function than he does. Once again, it's stupidity because you're comparing apples to oranges. You shouldn't even be comparing them in the first place. It is so ridiculous to me. And this other squatty said they make her meals, they buy her products, they read and view everything she puts out, and now they're infiltrating her retreat seminar at a great cost that they can't really afford. They love Meghan to the point of obsession. What they hate is they can't resist her. Where is the lie? Where is it? Squatties do not behave like this. These people who pretend as if they hate Meghan, they actually love Meghan. It is a twisted obsession. I don't even really know what to make of it. I mean, Squatties, we do not behave in this manner. We don't. Look at Natasha Archer, the assistant, the former assistant to Kate for 15 years, and she come out of all of that copying Meghan. And y'all know how I feel about Forest Lodge. I have told y'all that I believe that Forest Lodge is pretty much a carbon copy of Harry and Meghan's Montecito home. I am willing to bet you it is nothing but Meghan products and Meghan ideas and a carbon copy of the furnishings and everything. I'm telling you, it's a chicken there, it's a koi pond, it's all of it. Right there, they have copied everything that is Harry and Meghan's home. These people are sick. And what this squatty is also talking about, when she refers to these haters infiltrating Meghan's girls retreat, she's talking about an article that came out in the Fail. Now, I am not even really comfortable in talking about this because it's about a troll that is the worst of the worst, so hateful. And she herself is allegedly a criminal. But I digress on that point. She is saying in a post, and I'm not even going to put it up. I'm just going to talk about it because I don't, like I said, I don't even feel comfortable in talking about it because this woman is saying that she has bought a ticket and she is going to be at this retreat and she's going to record Meghan. All I can say to her is this: she needs to tread very lightly, because if she does have a ticket and she does show up to this retreat, she's going to be surrounded by around 300 supporters of Meghan. And if she thinks that she is going to cause some kind of trouble, we have a saying here in the South: don't get a mud hole stomped in your ass. And that's exactly what probably is going to happen if she goes there and tries to clown or act out in any kind of way. She's going to get a mud hole stomped in her ass. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. Y'all know I love to end on a positive note, and I got two today. The first one is little Archie. He keeps breaking the internet. Look what breaking news posted. It says, be mindful they only saw the back of our little princess bag. Prince Archie, you are powerful as your beautiful parents. And as you can see, 33K, 33,000 posts about Prince Archie's skin. Tell me that right there is not power. The Sussexes are the most relevant royal family it is in the world, and they hate them for it. Kitty and Willie stand on their heads trying to get some attention, and Archie skis down a hill and get 33,000 posts. I kid you not. And like I said, they do nothing to seek the spotlight. Meghan is posting on her personal Instagram. It's just the fact that the Sussexes has the shine. They just do. And my second positive thing is this. Look at this. Y'all remember this from last year? Yes, the ducks, the mama ducks and her ducklings. If you hadn't went over to Megan's Instagram lately, go over and rewatch the duckling video. Yes, I don't know how many millions that racked up, but boy, it was a lot. Yeah, and it's still as cute as ever. It is. So, yes, happy Easter, y'all. I know Easter is gone by the time I post this, but y'all, I hope y'all had the best Easter ever. And listen, if you hadn't subscribed, please subscribe. If you have the hype up button, please hype up the video for me. It helps the channel so much. And listen, I always do the thumbs up. And if you want to be a part of the reading club and want to be a channel member, please do that as well. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.